Chair, we're ready to begin. Recorders are going.
Mic's on here. We call this meeting to order. It is May 21st. The time is 7:05. It's the Elbert County Planning Commission. If we could we please stand for a prayer and a pledge? Mike, you said you were going to do that? All right. Thank you.
Dear Lord, thank you for allowing us to come together as a community and be with us as we begin this meeting today. Give us wisdom, discernment, and guidance to reach the best possible outcome. Please be with our first responders and our military and those that put their lives in harm's way to protect us. And thank you for all our blessings because we know they all come from you. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Amen. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay, so let's roll call, please.
Danny Wilcox,
Here.
Kevin Kirkwood, absent. Van Sands, Eric Carlson, absent. Mike Buck, Dee Dee Schott Grace, Robert Politic,
Here.
John Gresham, absent. Chair, that concludes roll call. You have a quorum.
Thank you. All right, staff report.
Hi, Mr. Chair. Good evening, Commissioners. I'm Mark Dettenreiter, Director of Community and Economic Development. Just have a few items to update you on today. The first item has to do with public comments. We did have some discussion in a previous Planning Commission meeting, as you recall, regarding public comments and the importance of the public submitting comments a week before a public hearing date for public hearings for Planning Commission and for Board of County Commissioners. We have since added some language in a few different places to inform the public further on this. On the county website, there's a section, it's called the Project Pipeline Report and Development Map area. And this is a place where the public can go to get just some basic general information on current development projects that are in the queue with the county. The pathway on the county website to get here would be you just land on the main page, and then you go to Government, Community Development Services, Project Pipeline Report and Development Map. And when you land on that page, you will find the following statement. It reads, please note all public comments in written form need to be submitted 1 week prior to public hearing dates in order to be included in the packet provided to the Planning Commissioners and Board of County Commissioners for review. Please submit your written comments to, there's an email address there, okay? If you click on the Community Development Projects Map link, then you'll find that exact same language at the top of that page. So that's a second location. We've also including it now in the templated mailer notification document that gets sent out to the public who live within a quarter-mile radius of a given project for community meetings and for public hearings. That concludes that section of my updates. And then moving on to Board of County Commissioner decisions. The last BOCC meeting on May 8th, the board heard the Elora preliminary plat case, and that was approved. I also have one final update for you tonight, and it has to do with the Water Master Plan project. We are at that draft policy recommendation phase of that project. And I sent you all an email regarding a public engagement event on this, but I did want to cover it once again here tonight as a reminder, and for any public that may be here in the room or listening. The county is inviting the public to participate in a focus group discussion to review these draft policy recommendations for the Water Master Plan. That's going to be next week on May 29th. There are actually 2 different time slots available. The first discussion forum will be from 5:30 to 7 p.m., and then the second group will go from 7:30 to 9 p.m. The location on that will be the Elbert County Fairgrounds. That's the Ag Building at 95 Ute Avenue, right here in Kiowa. And be sure to RSVP to reserve a spot. And if for some reason you are unable to attend, there is a way that you can participate and review the materials and provide comments. If you go to the county website, on the main page, scroll down a bit and you'll see a notice regarding this public engagement event for the Water Master Plan. Thank you.
Hey, Mark, can I have a quick question?
Yes.
I enrolled for that. Is there going to be a draft copy provided before the meeting for us to review or just attend?
Well, I believe you could go, follow the link, and then you could review the materials ahead of time that way.
Okay, so it is on there. Okay.
There's a link to the document in there. It's kind of hard to find. There is a link that gets you to it.
Okay.
I recommend reading, really.
Yeah, because I just did the link to RSVP for the event.
Yeah.
I didn't see that one, but if it's there, I'll look again.
Yes.
Yeah, I think there are 2 other links below the link that was
Okay.
provided to RSVP. One is to access the materials, and then the other is to provide comments. I believe those are separated.
And Mark, they're kind of in the same kind of print. If
Yes.
I remember right. They're kind of, yeah.
It says like, please click here, and then the next one is click
Yeah.
here as well, kind of thing.
I'll find it. I'm sure I'll find
But it's there.
it. Okay, good.
Yeah, so that'll be a good read ahead for y'all. Yeah.
I was really,
Thank you for the question. Thank you.
thank you, Mark.
Thank you.
See, consent agenda items, you have anything?
No, we do not. Thank you.
Okay, citizen comment section. This is any citizen comments unrelated to the application that we're hearing tonight? See, Trina, no, okay. Okay, we've got approval of meeting minutes. If we could run through those real quick. Hello. So did we kind of look them over? Did you guys? Yeah, I've already. Okay. Good. April 16th. Yep,
I second it.
second it. You got any discussion? Or go reading the minutes? Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye? All right. Okay, public hearing process. We're gonna start in, excuse me, we're gonna start into our public hearing. And I normally make a comment, and I go over some stuff, and I wanted to just take a minute to talk about the statement I usually make. I want to go through why I make this statement and the history and kind of a couple reasons. So, first of all, the statement comes, and I've emphasized it more succinctly due to a couple hearings that we've had. And primarily, I make that statement to kind of protect us to some degree. And me thinking about that too. Okay, so when I make this statement about, we are a quasi-judicial board, okay? What I'm going to start saying is we are a citizen advisory board. That more fits the thing, okay, of what we do, what we frequently do in our hearings. Quasi-judicial means we judge the application based on the codes and ordinances. Okay, we are a citizen advisory board when we come about and we exercise our opinions and we like to state our views on different things. And it comes out. So I make these statements out here for a couple reasons. One, I want everybody to know, and I'll start with the applicant specifically. I want that applicant to understand that this hearing is not the stopgap for their application. This hearing is we are reviewing the application, we are comparing it to the code, and then we are referencing that application and sometimes opining on that application. Okay? So, I don't want that applicant thinking that that application is going to be stopped here. Okay, that's for their sake. Now, and the situation comes where if there's a solid no vote, stands to reason, if we vote no across the board, that application is still going forward to the board. And we're all aware of that. Okay? Now, the next reason I make kind of a comment is from another hearing that we were in, where I don't know how many people were threatening us with lawsuits. Okay? And I want to kind of, folks, they can threaten all they want. They can sit there and they can say anything they want. But you have to go back and remember what we're here for and what we are. And I'll go back to we are a citizens advisory group. Our actions in this meeting only do three things. They recommend approval, they recommend denial, they recommend approval with conditions. That recommend is the critical word. So really, they can threaten all they want, but there's been no damage, nothing done, and therefore that protects you in your time when you want to say things about the application. Okay? That kind of sets us free. And that lets them know, all right, you might as well. Then the second thing that is important for them to know is that, okay, they can come here and voice their opinion here and be upset and go forward, which we encounter. But they need to be sure that they make it to the next meeting. Okay, and that's some I emphasize for them. So that is kind of the history behind why I make the statements I make, to protect us, to get everybody to understand. And it has never been in a way to demean what we do, just to more give us the latitude to present different things. Okay? Okay. So, with that, I think that kind of takes care of my statement. Okay? I kind of wanted to explain. I wish everybody was here, and I will go over it and I'll say it again so that the others know the history of it and why I did it, because I wanted everybody to hear that. So it might put you guys at ease a little bit and maybe calm the audience in times when we need that. Okay, so with that, folks, our hearing will go as such. First, our county CDS will present the application. Okay? Then we will ask you folks to present whatever you have. All right? And then we'll ask for citizen comments on the application. At that point, then we'll ask if there are any comments that need rebutting, or if you can explain or answer questions that were brought up. We'll ask you to maybe help us with that. At that point, we will end public comment. We will end the interaction. It will go to board discussion. We'll ask our questions, and then we'll vote. And the vote will go one of three ways. We'll vote to recommend approval, we'll vote to recommend denial, or we'll vote to recommend approval with conditions. But every vote we take, whatever the outcome is, it is still going forward to the Board of County Commissioners, where the ultimate authority of the application exists. Okay? All right. With that, I would ask Mark, please,
All right, thank you, Mr. Chair. Hello, everyone. Mark Dettenreader, Director of Community and Economic Development for Elbert County Government. And good evening again to the other planning commissioners. Today, we are here for you all to hear a case for innovative HVAC. It's an SUR, a special use by review case, number 2024-2183. The details of this particular application here, just to get started, again, it's a special use by review, an SUR. It's a home occupation type business. You, the Planning Commission, will have an opportunity to consider this SUR for innovative mechanical solutions and HVAC business. Their location is at 2183 Thomas Court, Parker, Colorado 80138 in Elbert County, Colorado. Our former senior land use planner, Guillermo Mata, worked this case. He is no longer with the county and has since moved on, and as a result, I have picked up this case to present for the public hearing phases of this process. The applicant is Sherry and Thomas Pies, and the pre-application meeting for this particular case was waived by myself, given the fact we had quite substantive conversations prior to community meeting and formal application, and it didn't seem necessary to have a pre-application meeting since we already covered it in more than one meeting prior to the community meeting. And the community meeting was held on February 26, 2024. I actually attended that community meeting. The applicant submitted a formal application on March 28, 2024. And of course, we're here tonight in our public hearing phase for Planning Commission, and then the Board of County Commissioners, rather, they will hear this on June 12, 2024. The subject property is located up in the northwest quadrant of the county. If you look at the presentation there, you'll see the blue star. That's in the Thunder Hill subdivision, and that is northwest of Elizabeth. And just kind of zooming in a little bit more here, the red star, you can see that's the property there. It is north of County Road 166. You see my cursor here. This is 166 that runs right along here from east to west. And zooming in even further, now you have a good aerial view of the property with the star. It's right there. It's 3.521 acres. It's off Thunder Hill Road, right along here, running north-south, and then Thomas Court with a cul-de-sac here, and here's the property there. If you look at the zoning map, you will see that the properties around this particular property are all residential agriculture. To the north, south, and west, they're all residential ag, RA2. And then there's a property right here. If you look at the cursor on the screen, just to the east, that one is RA1. It's just a property that's a little over 5 acres. Here is the SUR exhibit. And I'm just going to actually do another zoom in here so you have a chance to take a look at the property. We have the residence here, single family home, the driveways here, and some of the plans for these existing structures on the property, a fabrication shop, some storage, parking, a trailer will be considered a construction trailer, a 12 by 56 foot will go right in here. That's actually going to add about 672 square feet to house some computers, technology, and allow for ample office space for the business. They will identify a drop-off point for any deliveries. It's important to note some weeks there would be no deliveries. They might receive 1 to 2 deliveries a week from FedEx or UPS, and they don't expect to increase traffic to any unreasonable levels. The business hours are going to be from 7 a.m. to 5 p.m. Monday through Friday. There will be a max of 6 on-site employees, 3 of which are family members, and those folks actually reside on the property and live there. They also have field positions within their business of installers and service technicians, and these employees work on job sites across the metro area and rarely have to come to the office. There might be an occasional company meeting or something that would require that. The business does not serve the general public. This is not a retail operation, so therefore there's no additional traffic created from this business. The referral process was standard. You can see the list here of the different referral agencies that did have some responses. There are no outstanding items to deal with at this point based on the referral agencies. This next slide here, these are some other referral agencies that did not have a response associated to them. Just see that list there. When you look at our zoning regulations, you have to go to Article 3E, and there are 8 criteria for special use by review applications, the SUR. So the Planning Commission is to consider these criteria, and I will go through them now and provide some comments from staff on each of them. The first one, the use is in harmony and compatible with the surrounding area and the neighborhood. Staff believes that this business will not disturb the neighborhood based on the plans that have been proposed to us. The community meeting, as we mentioned, did take place, and then of course we have these public hearings, and these are venues for the public to express any concerns. If we go to the next one here, the use will not have an undue burden on available infrastructure. There has been in the past another home business that was already taking place there on the site prior to innovative HVAC application, so there's not going to be any new structures being built, and no additional infrastructure will be added. The third item for consideration for SUR applications based on the zoning regulations is the use will not unduly increase traffic congestion or burden the existing road system. Again, this is not a retail business, and the deliveries will be limited. Moving on to the fourth item, as part of the review criteria, their use will not cause significant air, odor, water, noise, or light pollution. We believe that no impact to air, odor, noise, light is to be expected from this business. Number 5, all sanitation requirements will be met. The existing sanitation system will not be impacted. The business will be using porta potties as opposed to utilizing the existing sanitation system on site for the home. And number 6, the use will be adequately landscaped, buffered, and screened based on the existing landscaping and, again, the structures, the way that the layout is presented. There's no additional buffering needed for this application. Moving on to number 7, the use will not otherwise be detrimental to the health, safety, or welfare of the present or future inhabitants of Elbert County. And the referral agencies were contacted as mentioned, and there are no unresolved issues at this time. Number 8, supplemental standards are met for specific uses as applicable, and the application is in accordance with the supplemental standards of the Elbert County zoning regulations. So those are the 8 review criteria for you to consider, and the findings that we have for you all tonight. The Elbert County Planning staff does recommend that the Planning Commission recommend approval to the Board of County Commissioners for innovative HVAC special use by review home occupation The case number again is SUR 2024-2183. There are a few conditions here for the recommendation, and that would be number one, the applicant will be required to remove the public hearing sign within 7 days of a BOCC approval. And then the second, this is a standard item coming from the Kiowa Conservation District. If any soil is disturbed, it needs to be reseeded with appropriate native seed. Dust and erosion need to be controlled. Noxious weeds must be controlled. And then the third item, if in the future, for any reason that the applicant decides to install restrooms, then the Elbert County Public Health Department would need to be contacted for an on-site wastewater treatment system application and get the proper permitting as such. Well, that concludes the presentation from staff. I appreciate it, and we are here for any questions. Thank you.
Thank you, Mark. Do you folks have anything? Do you want to add anything to the? Go ahead, come on up if you could. Okay. Mr. Tom Price? Pies. Okay,
Apple
thank you.
pies, cherry pies,
Okay.
any of those sweets. So, like everybody else after COVID, we're learning how to have people work more and more remote from home. So right now we have a big building in Commerce City that we're working out of, that it's a ghost town. So we'd like to move here to the Parker area and do all that stuff. But right now, our shop guy is only coming in probably 5 hours out of, I think the last 2 weeks, it's 1 day a week. I mean, we do the stuff like you see on the walls. We install split systems, air conditioning stuff. Our fab shop is just strictly bends some pieces of metal to make systems connect together and stuff like that. It's not a mass-produced fab shop that's going to create noise or anything like that. It's a 90% family-operated business with a couple of employees. 90% of our work is done on the construction sites. There's not a whole lot to do from even our office that we lease now. It's just a staging place to have the computers and tell people where to go from and dispatch them. We have a few air conditioners or fans or parts that are shipped to our shop, and our guys will come in, pick that up, and go install them on the customers' locations. We don't do a whole lot of stuff from our office, so there's not a whole lot of impact. Everything on the property, the prior owner that had the business put millings, so there's no dirt that's going to be disturbed, anything like that. It's all almost paved. It's like paved, everything around the shop. So, you guys have any questions? I mean, we got like 6 field employees. I mean, we're pretty small.
Pretty small, okay. So
And
what
I'll
we'll do
just
now-
add real quick, we do a lot of work remote. I'm setting up Starlink now, so I'm going to figure out how to remote in for that, because it is going to be a drive for some of our employees.
Keep them out there, yeah.
But we do require that they come in and talk with us once in a while, so we'll have to have, that's the reason for the construction trailer and stuff, but it'll be a ghost town still. So, I mean, a lot of the work will be done remotely. We can do things by computer so much quicker these days, and
Video Zooms and all that.
so,
People have gotten used to that we never wanted to or thought we could get used to, I guess, before.
You got used to it. Okay. All right. So what we'll do is I'll ask for public comment. Is there anybody? Okay, if we could. Go ahead.
Sorry. I live at 2274
Okay, name and address?
Valerie St. James,
Okay.
2274 Thomas Court.
Yes.
I'm fine with it. I mean,
You're
I'm
fine?
just here
Okay.
to support them. So,
All right. And you're
Right.
Valerie, did you get the name?
St. James?
If you signed in on the sheet there, that would be great, thank you.
2274. And there, at the end of the cul-de-sac? Yeah, I've been out there 30 years, so. And I've gotten to know these guys pretty well, so I trust them.
Okay. All right, thank you. Is there any other comments? Nope, back there, Trina, no, okay.
Trina, no?
How are you?
Yeah.
Okay, at this point, do the questions, let's go around the horn. You have questions? Edie?
It's becoming more and more apparent to me, which is kind of crazy. So you don't have a lot of lighting or anything that's gonna stay on late at night or anything like that, right? Okay. There's just been a lot of people that are complaining about lights being left on and, you know, all night long and that kind of stuff. So that was my only question, was the thinking of the, what do they call that?
Light pollution.
Light pollution, yeah, which years ago I thought was ridiculous, but actually I have a neighbor who, yes.
Mr. Chair, pardon me, can we get the applicant to go to the microphone if they are responding, please?
Yes.
Thank you.
If you're responding, yeah, please. Good, thanks, Mark. And maybe you folks just will go around the horn here real quick, okay?
So it'll be just existing lighting that was already there. It's just inside the shop had X amount of lights, and that's all we'll utilize and turn off as we leave.
Okay,
There's no outside lights that will be turned on for any reason.
all right, so that's all I was thinking of, as long as there's not, you know, in the parking areas and everything, big lights that are gonna stay on.
Whatever's there now is,
Yeah, just trying to think about the neighbors.
Understandable,
you
and the
know.
nice thing
There-
about being in the area that we're in is that there's not a lot of crime, so, I mean, that's probably the biggest reason for the lighting in the first place, so, no, there's, our hours
I
are
like the
from,
lighting most of the time, but I have discovered that it can get overboard, you know, but I didn't realize that, but, so I just had questions as to whether the neighbors would have any of that kind of, otherwise, your neighbor just said she was great with it, so, there you go.
I'm familiar with the property because I used to help the previous owner take care of it when they were traveling. And I can tell you when those lights are on inside the big structure, you can't tell. You just can't tell.
Well, that's wonderful. I just wanted to be mindful for neighbors, that's all.
we didn't add anything, so everything, as far as the lighting goes,
we
is
just found a
existing.
property that already had everything existing, that already had a business in it. It seemed
How
like it would work
fortunate
with
you
just
were
a
able to
couple of
find it.
modifications to
Yeah, we are
That's
very
wonderful.
tore out the inside of their
We're
gym.
glad to
out.
have you here.
Thank you.
So I had a couple questions real quick. One of them was the sign. It says a small sign will be placed on the fence for deliveries. A 25 by 62 inch sign is not a small sign. That's a big advertising sign. It seems excessive just for deliveries to me, and it would give it a more of a commercial feel with that large of a sign, but
Put any size that you want. We're just looking for, as the delivery driver came in, they would know to turn into that spot versus somewhere else. The size, you guys tell us what you want or don't want.
Gotcha. I was just curious about that because I said a small sign just for deliveries. Nobody has big signs like that at their house. It just has a street address and they find it okay. So I was thinking, okay, are they advertising for a business? Is it a commercial look in a residential area? That's all I was
We don't
concerned with.
advertise for business. We're strictly commercial, so it's all a bid thing, so we're not looking to gain any work out of a sign or anything. So we're flexible. We can put
We
a
just need
smaller
the
sign, no
drivers to
sign.
see it, yeah.
It doesn't really matter. I'm sure people can find it off the address itself too.
Yeah, it just caught my eye, that
Yeah.
the small sign, and then it wasn't actually a small sign with the measurements. So just a
You gave me
clarification.
that size.
Oh, is that little sign in the back?
You gave me
Was it
that
that
size, I
62?
put it on the
Okay.
paper, so.
And then we came from, there was a sign that we have inside our shop that we posted at a job site one time or some, on the side of the fence of all the contractors at work, and I think that's what
And the
How much
thought,
for the sign?
the thought was the one right to the south of it, there, I don't know what the address, 2186, or right there on the bottom, if there's a sign there on that fence, and all of a sudden they're looking at a big sign. That was my concern. The other question was, our packet referenced a pounding noise and insulation in the shop and that sort of thing, but you had stated that there wasn't gonna be any noise, so that was
There will be
something that-
some noise, but
Yeah.
it's not like a full-blown out fab shop. We bend metal. We're not really there to beat it into submission. There's just pieces. Our plasma machine is quiet. It just runs off of air, so and we'll take that and we'll bend it. So it's,
I don't know why.
the
that was in
lawnmowers
our-
outside are probably gonna produce
It
more.
was in our packet,
About that myself.
Yeah.
But I know what they do,
yeah.
having bought from the people like
Okay.
so I knew that wasn't gonna be.
That's all I had.
The pounding goes on at the job sites. That's
And
where,
it's bad.
that's where it gets noisy, so.
Okay, that's all I had.
I don't have any questions, thanks.
Pardon me, Van, your mic?
Sorry about that. It says you're the business owners, but it also says in the write-up that there's, Clint was the owner, but it says you bought it from him? I'm just a little confused as to
We
what.
started the application before we closed. We just closed on May 3rd.
Oh, okay. It was just a little, who owns the building, or who owns the property, so.
We do now.
It's just but I noticed that you do have a title commitment in here, but, okay. Thanks.
Did you just bring this to the county? You just brought this, or were you approached by the county?
Somebody else?
No, we brought it forward. I used to sit on city council in North Glen.
Oh, so you kind of,
I
Try to do
know,
everything above board, so 15 years later, you don't get mad and kick us out.
oh,
There's
no.
a lot of businesses there, so we're just wanting to do it right and do it the first time, so everybody's happy or they have their chance to voice concern.
There are
Modify.
hundreds of businesses all over this county,
Yeah.
all over. And thank you. Okay, I have no questions, so. You have a motion?
Well, I'll make a motion that we recommend approval to the Board of County Commissioners that they approve SUR 2024-2183.
I'll second that.
So all in favor?
Aye.
Okay. I do not believe there's anything else on the agenda, is there? No? Okay, we have a motion to adjourn.
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
Thank you. Oh, good. Did you get those? Mike and Robert. Okay, thank you, folks. Meeting's adjourned.